Hello everybody, I'm Faraz. I'm Ielts teacher, English teacher. I do arts, and these days I've started a series of lessons on internet available on YouTube. Please search Faraz Bugyo, and you can access these files from Facebook as well. Please go like my Facebook page, channel, continue. This is first class Ielts lesson, and once you have done that, please let me know in the comment box below so that we can begin. And meanwhile, I'll give you 1 minute to mention the people, access the PPT, and then mention the people who you think should join the class. Meanwhile, I'll say salam to everybody and greet everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. Sajjad, Mehran, Sajjad Sial, Zati Joyo, Walaikum Salam. I hope all is well. So let's begin, get going. We started doing writing task, and what we do in this class, we do from PPT and we practice. I want you to write your responses in the comments here. When you watch on YouTube, do write these comments in YouTube as well. So once you have accessed PPT, I repeat where you can access this PPT. Go to classroom.google.com, and the code for the class is 2BB74RW. Once you have accessed this PPT, do write in the comment box done or access. Let me know through your comments you have accessed so that we can begin. Okay, it's a practice task, so be with me. We'll do practice, and after we finish this PPT, we'll have a speaking task also. We'll do speaking practice here on Facebook Live. We won't go to Instagram. There is an application here also. We can do speaking practice from here. Okay, right, good. Perhaps perfect. Manur has accessed it. And who else has accessed? I can see, I think Shahriar got it also. Good. I'll wait 1 more minute for you to access it, and then we can begin. Okay, Sadia also says she has accessed it. Good, perfect. And let's see who else does it. Done. Okay, perfect. So many people have accessed it. Good job. Okay, perfect. Let's get going now. We have to do a little writing practice together. I gave you homework also. I'm sure you all did that, and let's go start from there. Perfect. Good. And Komal Sheikh has also joined. Okay, good. Healthy. Write your do like this. Go to classroom.google.com, and it'll ask you for the code. Join class, and then it'll ask you for the code, and the code for Ielts class is 2B74RW. Okay, can somebody write the code in here? Also, I have also written this code in the title of this video, so you don't have to worry if you don't understand. Go to the title of this video and do it now. Right, let's go to the graph also. We are doing writing task 1, which is graph describing a graph. Okay, good evening everybody. Assalamu alaikum everybody. Just get going. Okay, we are done with salam. Thank you for joining. I'm in this app. Okay, then what's the problem? Go to classroom. Okay, so if you are in the map, then go to classroom, go to classwork, and that's Ielts writing task lesson 4. Okay, that's how you can do it. I'll wait for you. I'll wait 1 minute for you. I'm sorry everybody, we have to be a little slow. I want everybody to go with the same pace axis. Good. Right, so now look at the slide number 1. You can see two bars, okay, two graphs, and there are many bars in every graph. And what is it they are showing? They are showing us Riverdale Public School System. Riverdale Public School System, reading and maths. So we have spending per pupil, the amount people spend, and we have percentage of students getting passing grades. So we have got these two slides, reading and maths. Side we have per pupil. Okay, so these are two different graphs but interrelated. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute to look at the graph and then I'll ask you questions. Your time starts now. I'll give you 1 minute to access and then we'll begin. Assalamu alaikum, Marisab. Okay, finished. Now answer these questions. Question number 1. What is the graph on the left about? Write in a sentence, okay? Or phrase is okay, but write in the comment box. What is the graph on the left about? What is the graph on the left about? Perfect, good. But I am on Ielts book. Okay, good job. Then let's do it together now. What is the graph on the left about? Please answer this question. Write your response in the comment here. The graph on the left is about spending per pupil for Riverdale. Okay, it talks about currency. Okay, and what is the graph on the right about? The graph on the left is about percentage of the students. Good, simple, plain enough. So this is how you describe. You answer these two questions. What is the graph on the left about? What is the graph on the right about? Statement, one sentence. So it's essential you achieve the task. In order to achieve the task, you have to describe general description, then you have to tell the trend, and then you have to compare. So if you do these things, you get task achievement. Okay. Now let's talk about question number 9. What do you see in spending per pupil between 1985 and let me change my Wi-Fi position. Sorry, I think it needs to go somewhere here. Okay, good. Let's do it. So see in the graph, is there any change? And do you remember I gave you vocabulary also to describe this kind of scenario? So if you have those words handy, go to those words and use them here. So let's talk about that. What's happening here in the graph number 1? We can see the changes spending per pupil between 1995 is that it's decreasing by spending per pupil by passing time. Okay, that's right. So general trend is that there is a decrease in spending from 1995 to 2010. Good job. Perfect. You got it. Now we need one sentence about graph number 2. What changes do you see in the percentage of students getting passing grades between 1995? So tell me, what do you see about passing grades? The graph on the right is about the decreasing ratio of percentage in 95. Okay, good, perfect, good. What changes do you see in spending per people between 1995 to 2010? So what happens here? And graph number 2, what changes do you see in the percentage of students getting passing grades between 1995 and in 2010? What's the trend? Is there also a decline? If yes, what kind of decline? Is it sharp decline, slow decline, steady decline? Percentage of students getting passing grades. So your sentence would be the percentage of passing grades in Riverdale Public Reading and Maths. We see that the percentage of students getting passing grades between 1995 is decreasing, but a minor change. Okay, so let's say it in one sentence. There is a decline in the spending of there is slow decrease in the grades of students. The percentage of students getting passing grades decreased from 2000 exactly 2010. We have 1995, 2000. The years are different in your book perhaps, but yes, you got the point. That's the point. Good. Riverdale Public School System Reading, second paragraph, second graph. Sumro Saab said that, okay, from 8,000. Good. Let's go. Let's still do it. Let's talk about comparisons, because we have to compare as well. If you remember the task, we are supposed to give a general description, and then we are supposed to show the trend, and third thing we need to do is to compare. Okay, I'm really sorry, looks like there is an internet connection problem. Okay, last two questions about this graph. Compare spending per people in 2000 with spending, compare spending per people in 2000 with spending per people in 1995. So can you do a comparison, spending in 2000 and spending in 2000? The changes in spending per people between 1995 and has reduced from 12,000 to, that's it. Good, exactly. Yes, decreased from 2000 to, it decreased by, from, we can see 10. So how many dollars were reduced? So instead of giving that figure, if you can say reduced by how much, by 4,000 US dollars would also be a nice expression to use. Okay, now question number next about this graph. The spending per people of 2000 is, okay, yes, that's what the graph says, but what you understand, it has reduced from this to this, that's what we say. Okay, so if you only say is this and is that, it doesn't make a nice sentence. So you say how much it reduced from one figure from 1 year to another. So you have to develop a word, you have to think of a word for that. Okay, let's do the next question. Compare the percentage of students getting passing grades in 2005 and 2010. So let's see what happens here in the graph. In 2000 and 1995, above 85% and less than 85%. So make one sentence about 1995 reduced from exactly. Good. That's, you don't only have to say is, you have to say what is happening in the graph. Be more descriptive. Perfect. Now that's right sentence. Now let's do it for the second graph and compare what happens in 1995 and what happens in what happened in 1995 and what happened in 2010. That's what I need, one sentence for that. And everybody, while you're watching it, do not forget to share this video with your friends. And buy good internet connection also. Okay, I'm still waiting. The number of students passing grades are a bit higher than 2010 and less than 2010. It needs rephrasing, Mahanur. I think it needs rephrasing, or maybe you have to look at the graph again. The number of students passing from from 2000. Haris, I'm on slide number 2. Okay, let me give you a slight introduction what I'm doing. Okay, please first of all go to classroom.google.com and access PA. It says Ielts 4. Okay, Ielts lesson 4. Go to classroom.google.com and the code is, and code for the class is BB74RW. Access PPT, and we are doing this PPT now in this class. Okay, please, those who join me, leave your intro now or later in Google Classroom. Okay, it's really important for me. Okay, spending per people 2010, which is spending per people in 1995, shows decrease. Exactly, right. It's decrease of in the amount of money there. Okay, from 2000 to 2010. Okay, perfect. Now let's go to slide number 4. Those who have joined me now, they can begin, take a fresh beginning. I'm on slide number 4 and there are 2 pie charts. Look at both pie charts. What's happening there? I'll give you 2 minutes to look at the pie chart now. There are 2 pie charts and take 1 to 2 minutes to look at that. Your time starts now. Okay, now let me ask you a few questions. Now, first of all, you have to understand general trend. Tell me what's happening by answering just one question. What is the chart on the left about? you can use the word the chart on the left shows, demonstrate what? Okay. The chart on the left the pie chart on the left tells about professions chosen by females in different fields. Okay, in different fields. Let's put exactly 100, it's 90% right. Let's put one sentence. Female students in, then you have to count maybe fields 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 5 different fields. That makes it more accurate sentence, but well done job. Good. Now let's compose a sentence for another pie chart. The graph on the right shows percent of different professions. Okay, instead of different, 5 different professions will be more descriptive, more accurate description. In the year 1985. Yes, good job, well done. Let's compose one sentence about the chart on the right side. The chart on the right side demonstrate, shows, explains, illustrate. These are some of the words that you can use. Okay. The graph on the right shows, demonstrates, the graph on the right shows percentage of 5 different fields chosen by female graduates in 2010. Good job, 100% marks now. Good, well done. Okay, now let's see the trend. What is the dominant feature? What's the important thing? The chart on the left side is illustrating the percentage of professions chosen by females. Okay, good. In 5 different fields, I would say. That makes it more accurate description, more specific description. Okay, now let's see the dominant feature of it. What changes do you see in the engineering, medical and management profession between 1985 and 2010? So maybe it will require quite many sentences, but then use one sentence if you can talk about what changes do you see in the engineering, medical and management profession between 1985. Exactly right. Good, Dharti, you have done it. Good job. What changes do you see in the engineering, medical and management profession between? So what changes are happening here? What changes do you see? Education. What's happening in education? Education is reduced by 25%. Engineering has from 5% it's gone up to 15%. Management is same. Medicine 25%. Medicine 25%, they are 20%. Management is 10%. 20%. So what would you compose one sentence that expresses it. We see that 19 management was chosen by less ratio of females graduates and more ratio was good. You will say something like that. Okay, you'll have to compose sentences to express it. Good job, well done, good job. Okay. In 2010, the ratio of engineering management fields is greater than 2005. Good. This one sentence, then you connect, you talk about another feature, then you talk about another feature also. But in general trend, you have to give one sentence. So general trend is that females are mostly arts professions and okay. So if you have to compose a sentence, then you would say that subjects are different again. That's right. Okay, correction done. So if you have to use one sentence to describe the trend, it will be like this, that subjects chosen by female students from 1985 to 2010 varied in all the fields. All the fields are changed. Yes, so that's one sentence. That's a trend. It has changed in all the subjects. The education was chosen more, exactly. Then we'll go for the details of it. Okay, perfect. What changes do you see in the education and arts profession? So first we'll talk about 3 and then we'll talk about 2 others. Now tell me about education and arts. What happens there? What's happening there? Education and arts. Less number of females choose education in 2010 as compared to 1985. Whereas quarter of students chose arts in 1985, which reduced by 10% in 2010. That will be my sentence. Your sentences could be different, but remember one point: you have to use, you don't have to use just the exact figures here. You have to coin other terms to describe the same thing. For example, 25 is quarter, 40% is less than 50%, 20% is 1/5. So you have to think of these words. Okay, right? So you have to and these terms: quarter, 1/5, 1/10. If it's 10%, then you'll say 1/10. If it's 50, then you have to say 50%. In 2015, if more females chose arts, which reduced in 2000. Exactly. Good. The number of girls reduced by 10%. Exactly. So first you talk about the figure, and then you tell the what percentage is reduced. It's reduced by 1/10. The number of female students feels higher into less, however there is an increase in number of arts. Good job. Okay, perfect. Good going. Now let's compare the education and engineering profession in 1985. So these sentences that you are using will fit in the first trend. You see what's happening. reducing, and then you go for the details of it. In 1995, education was this and engineering profession was this. By 2010, it became sorry, let's do it. Let's compare the subjects within one specific year. We have done that already. Now compare what is happening in engineering with engineering and education profession here. Okay, so engineering is 5% and education is 40%. Education is 40%. So what's the word you would be using about it? The education arts profession fallen by 50% over the 25 years. Yes, exactly. That's a really nice term. From 1885, you can say over the 25 years period. Good job. Good. That's nice expression, Mir Saab. Perfect. Now I want you to tell me in 1985, give me a sentence about what's happening with the percentage of education and engineering. Okay, my sentence will be, let me see who writes this sentence, but my sentence will be, education was the most favorite subjects, whereas the least favorite subject was engineering in 1985. Let's see what's your sentence. The education was more common females in engineering. Exactly. By how many percentage? If you become a little more specific, then 35% chose more than engineering, something like that. Okay, good. The is much higher than engineering. Good. But if you become a little more specific, tell the percentage, tell the figure, that will help more. Okay, let's go to the next question. The last question about these two paragraphs is, compare the education and medical profession in 2010. So medical and engineering in 2010. Medical is medicine is medicine is 25% and education is 25%. So give me one sentence that tells this scenario, that depicts one scenario, this scenario. So what's happening in 2010 with education and medicine? Almost 3 times. Yeah. The 95 ratio of engineering was almost 3 times less than in 2010. Okay. From here to here. Perfect. That's nice expression. This is how we do it. Was more. Dharti says ratio of female chosen education in 1985 was more and engineering was less. More than engineering. Yes, by what percentage? How much of percentage was different? That's also important. The education and medical profession was equivalently famous. Were equal, were same. were same, or education and medicine in 2010 made the 50% choice of female students, and it was equally popular among them. Okay, now you have to talk about 2010 and talk about education and medicine. It's same, it's 25%, 25%. So exactly, it makes 50%. So one sentence could be education made 50% of overall choice of female students in 2010. Percent more by female students. Okay, but we are not comparing from 85 to but that's the right sentence. Okay, this is also exactly, you have said it right. I'll wait for one more sentence and then I can move on to the next example. Right, okay, now let's see here what's happening here. Okay, now this is okay. So let's sum up what we have done. In our previous class, we talked about how to convert graphs into description, and there are three things that we do. Number one, we develop a general sentence about them. Can be one sentence, can be two sentences. We talk about what's happening. If there are more than two graphs, three graphs, then you develop a sentence about all two and all three. That's number one. To look at the dominant feature, main feature, which in other words called trend. Look at the trend, what's happening, decline, increase, remain same, constant. This is what we do. Third thing, you compare things. So comparison takes place in two forms. Number one, you compare one graph within its features and then other graph within its feature, or you can do cross comparison. We did comparison between 1985 and 2010, or we did within graphs also engineering and medicine in the same year. So this is what we do. So this is this was our task number one. Now we'll analyze, and if we have time we will also do a little bit of exercise as well, but we don't have much time. So what we'll do, we'll look at one task and we'll try to analyze it. I'll ask you a few questions from this graph and then we'll do speaking practice later on. Now okay, think of writing a statement. Do you remember in one of my classes? If you haven't, then go to YouTube. I haven't uploaded them, but I'll upload now. Go to my YouTube channel. By the time of tonight, I'll upload all the videos of essay writing also. We talked about what is thesis statement. So here I'm not going in the details of thesis statement, but thesis statement is the main idea and it's the map. It gives a structure of your paragraphs. So first thing, when any question comes in front of you, your first job is to develop your thesis statement. By thesis statement, I mean what is your attitude, what is your point of view, what is it that you want to say, and in how many details would it need. That's what the first number task is. Okay, so let's look at the statement, and your thesis statement helps you in organizing your body part. So now look at the thesis statement to give description and support your opinion. Let's look at the example and see possible statements. So let's just analyze them. This is what the question is in the box. I'll read for you. More and more fathers are taking a break from their careers so that they can stay home and take care of their children while their wives work. This is better for the family having both parents work full time. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Then question in Ielts will say, give reasons for your answers and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So this is constant. This sentence will always appear in your Ielts exam. Now let's look at 3 possible statements. Changing customs have made it possible for men to take on roles in the female that once were considered to be only for women. In this, if this is your thesis statement, if this is a thesis statement, you'll talk about what were the roles of female previously and what are those roles that are being done by male these days. So you'll think of 2, 3, maybe 2 or 3 will be sufficient, or maybe of them, so you'll have to fit in all these things. Thesis statement number 2. Many modern couples are beginning to recognize that it is better to have a parent at home or to take care of their children rather than relying on a full-time baby or preschool. Now it says why it's important than relying on parents. Why not relying on baby or preschool? And you'll give reasons why that is important. Thesis statement number 3. Changing view of women in professions have made it possible for many women to earn a salary that is high enough to support a family. Right? So these are possible. Which one will you choose? Write 1, 2 or 3 in the comment box below. Right? So I think I'll stop it here. We have to do still more. There is more material on the slide. In fact, there are same set, there is a statement, there's task number 2, and there are questions related to them. Please do this as homework. Write your responses in the comment box and I'll get back to you. Okay, what we'll do now, we'll stop this video and I'll start video again for speaking practice. I'll wait for you to select. There are 2 photos. So there is an option in front of your camera, in front of your screen. Choose that option and one of you can participate in speaking practice for Ielts. Okay, don't be shy, do it now. It's just practice purpose. We all make mistakes and that's okay. Thank you very much everybody for being with me. I'll stop this video now and I'll start again for speaking practice. Bye.